At least we now know why Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck haven't filed for divorce yet. It's because they're not speaking. He doesn't want to embarrass her.
Not to be a hater, but have you seen what's going down with Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck? Girl, J-Lo is practically begging Ben to hold off on that divorce after having a year from hell. She's at her breaking point, but let me tell you, Ben is over it. He's not even speaking to her anymore. He's already moved on and got himself a new dream home. Now, J-Lo is doing everything she can to escape the embarrassment of this failed romance. You know what? Let's dive into the juicy details. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are doing their own thing now, which honestly feels about right. I mean, who didn't see this coming? I don't even have my contacts in, and I could tell this wasn't going to last. J-Lo hasn't seen Ben in weeks, so it seems like Ben is finally getting his peaceful era, probably taking a much-needed break from all the J-Lo chaos. Don't get me wrong, I love her work and her music, but as a person, well, maybe I'm not her biggest fan. Remember when they dated decades ago and almost got married? It was supposed to be this epic love story, right? But let's be real, this love story was doomed from the start. Word on the street is that J-Lo hasn't seen Ben for weeks. She's been chilling in New York City and the Hamptons, throwing a huge birthday bash with friends and family, but guess who wasn't invited? Yep, no Ben. One of the reasons J-Lo is probably sticking around New York is that she just doesn't want to face reality. I mean, who would? Going back to Hollywood would mean dealing with all those people who've been trashing her lately. Plus, where would she even go? She's trying to sell her mansion, probably moved half her stuff out, and now it's just millionaires parading through, trying to figure out if they can afford it.
Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are set to file for a divorce after weeks of split rumors. Sadly, the pair won't be getting one of J-Lo's rom-com fairy tale endings, as they are reportedly said to be pushing ahead with a divorce after a final attempt at reconciliation failed. The pair have not been seen together for weeks, and Ben was even a no-show at Jennifer's Bridgerton-themed party for her 55th birthday.
Oh, girl, let me spill this tea. So Ben finally found himself a new place, and get this, it's super close to his kids. You know, he wanted to be near them and have a fresh start, a personal space where he can just breathe and get into his creative zone without all those distractions. And let's be real, J-Lo was the ultimate distraction. She was all about the spotlight, always needing new stories out there, making documentaries, movies, and entire albums about their relationship. Like, who even has time for that? Despite the drama, Ben managed to move into his new place, but it hasn't been all rainbows and butterflies. Sources say it's been a rough time for him, but he's making his well-being and his family a top priority. And honestly, that's a good look for Ben, considering his struggles with addiction. This kind of messy situation could totally mess with someone who's already battling addiction, especially with all the public pressure. And let's not forget, dealing with J-Lo isn't exactly a walk in the park. Rumor has it she even wanted a big chunk of his money, like, girl, you've got plenty of your own. Now, if you don't know, the signs that their marriage was on the rocks started popping up back in May. Sources spilled that J-Lo and Ben were living under separate roofs. Fast forward to this summer, and they were all smiles, putting on a united front at graduations and other family events. But then, bam, separate summer plans. And, honey, celebrating their 2-year wedding anniversary apart? That's a massive red flag if you ask me. It's not like they can even use work as an excuse. Ben's trying to focus on work. But J-Lo? Her tour flopped big time, and now she's just taking a long break away from her man. Why Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are holding off on announcing their split amid all these divorce rumors? Well, a source spills to ET that the couple is waiting to make sure everything goes down smoothly. I mean, of course, this is so Hollywood. Planning the launch of their divorce like it's some sort of event. Are they having a launch party for it? They're delaying the official announcement because they want everything to be seamless, probably to avoid a messy divorce battle over money. And let's be real, it was starting to feel like it was heading in that direction. Neither of them wants to rush this process. They're handling the separation with as much grace, understanding, and gentleness as possible. Or so they say, while also sending sources to spill the tea to the media. It's interesting they're taking their sweet time with this. These two were married for just 2 years, so there shouldn't be that much to sort through in terms of assets. I mean, they bought their house together, but you'd think they'd just sell it and split the profits, right? I can't see this being a long, drawn-out divorce unless it gets really bitter. honestly, it doesn't sound all that gentle to me. The source also mentioned that the timing made her birthday a bit tougher, but with the support of her friends and family, she's getting through it day by day. And honestly, it looked like she was having a blast at her birthday party, so why shouldn't she? This marriage is done, and neither of them should wallow in misery. It's like the advice you'd give any friend going through a breakup. Yeah, there's going to be a grieving period, some loss and remorse, but you've got to move on with your life. It gets easier with time, though it's always easier said than done. Luckily, they only had 2 years together, so hopefully moving on won't be too hard. And honestly, it seems like J-Lo is already living her best life. Okay, girls, not to be a hater, but have you seen what's going on with J-Lo and Ben Affleck? The drama is real. J-Lo is totally furious and feeling humiliated right now, and honestly, who can blame her? Word on the street is that Ben is holding back on filing for divorce to protect her. I mean, if that's not a mess, I don't know what is. So here's the tea. J-Lo is delaying those divorce papers, and it's not just some random decision. She's doing it because she's angry and embarrassed, and honestly, who wouldn't be? The headlines about their split are everywhere, and it's like she's trying to save herself from even more public humiliation. Now here's where it gets juicy. A source close to J-Lo says she's super upset because, let's be real, it was Ben who wanted to get back together in the first place, not her. And now she's scrolling through old texts, probably looking for anything to pin this breakup on him. The kicker? She's feeling betrayed because she's been out here telling everyone that Ben is the love of her life. Like, girl, they had 2 weddings just 2 years ago. Can you imagine the embarrassment? And let's talk about the real issue here. If J-Lo moves on, people are gonna be like, wasn't Ben the love of your life? Ugh, the drama. I honestly don't think she could love him after all this mess. Some folks are saying that Ben is holding off on the divorce to, give her some time because she's already in deep with this whole situation. Like, do we really need to pile on with a divorce right now? Maybe give her a little break.
At least we now know why Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck haven't filed for divorce yet. It's because they're not speaking. He doesn't want to embarrass her by forcing her to go through another failed romance. Interesting. Romantic or delusional? Perhaps a bit of both. So protective that he snuck into their house to take all his shit while she was on vacation, while also not speaking to her? Insiders told TMZ that the singer and the actor have not hired divorce lawyers and instead have their business managers hashing out the details of the divorce. Well, they might want to hire some, because all of this is what's embarrassing.
So maybe Ben thinks he's being all considerate by sneaking in, grabbing his stuff, and bouncing before J-Lo even gets a chance to see him. But honestly, I bet she's not thrilled about it. If you ask me, it's kind of a sneaky move on Ben's part, trying to avoid any awkward run-ins. And get this, apparently they haven't even hired divorce lawyers yet. Instead, they've got their business managers sorting out the details, which is just so Hollywood, right? But honestly, it makes sense. A lot of these celebs barely even manage their own money. Now, don't get me wrong, they're not totally clueless about their cash. They just hand it all over to these wealth firms in LA that basically run their lives. I'm talking bills, mortgages, healthcare, cars, everything. It's crazy. These firms even get power of attorney, so they can pretty much do whatever they want on your behalf. You just gotta hope you've got a good one, because if not, you're totally screwed. Anyway, I'm guessing they're probably fine. But there's a rumor that J-Lo might be with TriStar, and if that's true, yikes. TriStar's the same firm that got Britney Spears into that whole conservatorship mess. They were also raided for handling Diddy's money, and Justin Bieber even fired them because of their shady dealings. So maybe the divorce isn't official yet, but it sure looks like they've moved on. I mean, Ben's already been spotted without his wedding ring, and J-Lo was seen on vacation, confirmed by paparazzi, of course, without her jewelry too.
Get away from me and the kids.
Him.
Go away.
Him.
Go away.
Him.
So girls, don't be a stranger. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for our next video. You won't want to miss it. Trust me, it's going to be a wild ride.